れ、お前ならできる。
でも
いいかしも、自分を信じるな。俺を信じろ。お前を信じる俺を信じろ。
何それやってみる。
Gurren Lagann has an amazing amount of quotable lines and memorable scenes. This particular one stands out to me, not because it's better or worse than any others, but like much of the show, the depths of his genius that lies behind its comedic outer shell may be lost to some and brushed off as one of the many mannerisms of Kamina. Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Just what is the philosophy behind this phrase, and how does it apply to the act of being human? For answers to this question, we have to start from a different point and work our way up to it. I introduce you to Death from the movie The Hogfather.
Now, tell me...
What would have happened if you hadn't saved him?
Yes.
The sun would not have risen.
Then what would have happened?
A mere ball of flaming gas would have illuminated the world.
All right, I'm not stupid. You're saying that humans need fantasies to make life bearable?
No. Humans need fantasy to be human. To be the place where the falling angel meets the rising ape.
With tooth fairies, hogfathers.
Yes. As practice, you have to start out learning to believe the little lies.
So we can believe the big ones.
You need to believe in things that aren't true. How else can they become?
The first part of that clip, the fallen angel meeting the rising ape, that is one of the major driving forces of human evolution in a nutshell. We have our base animalistic instincts and our higher levels of consciousness. While we have not done away with those base instincts, we have learned to control them, to put satisfaction to the side in order to work towards something greater. The Ant and the Grasshopper is a fable that showcases this well. The grasshopper was enjoying its summer, while the ant was toiling away in the heat. The grasshopper mocked the ant for wasting away its summer and going through all of this self-induced suffering. Finally, winter came, and the grasshopper could find no food, so he died. The ant, on the other hand, enjoyed all of his delicious food in his cozy home that he spent all summer working on. These physical examples also extend to the metaphysical ones. We learn to do away with petty anger to work with someone for the greater good. We turn off the entertaining TV in order to toil away with the tedious studies. The entire concept of self-improvement, of becoming a better you, has two questions always attached to it: why and how. The ant and the grasshopper is pretty simple. The why is so that the ant doesn't starve. The how is the hard work during the summer. How about with something a bit more vague? I want to become a good person. I want to become a leader. I want to make things better. I want to help. There is nothing from these statements that you can pinpoint, but everyone listening knows damn well, with that feeling deep inside your gut, that there is something behind those words. Greener pastures beyond the horizon. But why even strive for these things, and how? Simon starts out the series as being pretty pathetic. He has no real aim or purpose in life, as stated in his opening words to us. Contrast that with Kamina, the almost surreal figure chasing what is at this point a mythological place, the outside, the world beyond the ceiling. Despite the sheer lunacy of this man facing down a giant monster with nothing more than a sword, Simon sees something deeper beyond the insanity. He sees a figure that he idolizes for reasons even he probably couldn't quite pin down at this point. And this idol, this idea of what a man should be, drives Simon to further evolve. This idea even has a slogan.
バカ野郎！無理を通して道理を蹴っ飛ばすんだよ！それが俺たちグレンダンのやり方だろうが！
You can think of this in our world as a mantra, or even a golden rule. A mantra is something used in Buddhism, a word or phrase repeated over and over to help in focus and concentration. A golden rule is a basic principle that you should strive to follow to ensure a better life or outcome. Resist logic to exceed the impossible is the mantra or golden rule in the show that, without it, would have never let the humans achieve anything beyond the endless cycle of war and struggle against the Beastmen.
やっぱりダメだよ。無理だよみんな。もうやめてよ兄貴。
見てなさい。彼は立ち上がるわよ。何度でも。あなたが来るまでは何度でも。カミナは言ったわよね。自分を信じるの。お前を信じる俺を信じろって。あんたはどうなの？
俺は
So how do we first see Simon use it?
無理を通して通りを蹴っ飛ばす。それが俺たちグレンだ。
He uses it to do the right thing, to become a better man in that moment. He swallows his basic instincts of fear and desire for safety with the higher ideal of risking his life for his brother. The fallen angel meets the rising ape. Simon didn't do this because he believed in himself. He didn't do it because he even thought he could. No, every sensible thing to do in that situation was to look for safety. But thanks to the mantra of something he perceived as greater than him, he pushed on. When Kamina told him don't believe in yourself, he was right. Up until this point, what has Simon really done or shown us? He can dig holes, be sad, and scared. That's it. When we began the show, we all thought Kamina was the main character, the one who would lead us to the greatness of the conclusion. Simon was the Watson to our Sherlock, the cowardly kid whose point of view we got to see the main character from. And that's how he saw it too. But Kamina saw something more than him. We got to hear of a story between them later down the line, where they were stuck underground due to an earthquake. From Simon's point of view, Kamina's bravery and smirking face led him to escape. But from Kamina's point of view, it was Simon's steadfast digging that kept them going. Kamina had to keep up the false face of the idol he was being to ensure Simon didn't give up neither. So Kamina's basic stance towards Simon from that point on was fine. If you can't see your own greatness yet, then believe in me when I tell you that you can do something greater. If you don't think you can do it, listen to me. If I tell you you can do it, then you should, despite your protests. It's not logical, but fuck logic. We're Team Gurren. The whole of Kamina's being was the how. His results were the why. Because of the constant success, Simon developed a feel for being able to pull off the impossible. Something he may have never been able to do if he wasn't able to witness Kamina's deeds. Hell, that's something that the whole of the humans, both on the surface and on the ground, picked up. Thanks to his idiotic, brain-dead schemer to steal a goddamn robot from the enemies and actually pulling it off, the rest of the surface world followed suit, and the people on the ground came on up. This paragon of masculinity showed them the how. The preceding victories over the generals gave them the why. Kamina and the Team Gurren flag, now Die Gurren flag, became a symbol for humanity. If people didn't believe that they could do it, thinking themselves as the apes, they could look upon the symbol of the angels to strive for what they could. Team Die Gurren believed in them, so they didn't have to believe in themselves. They just needed to be shown the possibilities. Does this mean that before Kamina, no one else had the ability to steal a gunman? No. But how can they do something that they don't even perceive as an idea yet? It's like trying to touch something that doesn't exist, or rather, trying to touch something you don't even know exists. Before Kamina died, he gave these final parting words.
いいかシモン、忘れんな。お前を信じろ。俺が信じるお前でもない。お前が信じる俺でもない。お前が信じるお前を信じろ。
兄貴 その日俺たちはかけがえのないものを失った。
Since he knew his time was up, it was also time for Simone to stop relying on idols, but to rely on himself. Kamina opened up the path, but Simone must walk it himself now. That doesn't mean that Kamina is forever gone. Simone put it best in his resurrection speech.
兄貴は死んだ。もういない。だけど俺の背中にこの胸に一つになって生き続ける。穴を掘るなら天をつく。墓穴掘っても掘り抜けて突き抜けたなら俺の勝ち。
なんだ、何を言ってる。
俺を誰だと思っている。俺はシモンだ。カミナの兄貴じゃない。俺は俺だ。穴掘りシモンだ。
Notice how, despite sounding a lot like Kamina, and even using his signature pose, he's no longer just imitating. He's become these things, this ideal of masculinity, and made them his own. He knows that despite no longer chasing after his idol, it's still there with him, like a power source he can draw upon when he doesn't know what to do.
そうだな。それが大グレンダンだな。な、リーダー。やっぱりよ、カミナの選んだ男なんだぜ。お前はよ。
ま、さっきの名乗りはいまいちだったけどね。
ちょっと。
そうだな。あらねえよな。
So let me ask you, dear viewer, who or what is your inspiration? And do you use them to achieve your fullest potential? Do you throw out logic in order to fulfill these gaps between who you are and who you could be? Do you still get weighed down by these petty desires of your basic instincts, never fully committing yourself to who you could be? Julius Caesar was just another generic government official until he saw a statue of Alexander the Great. And when he saw what Alexander achieved at the same age that he was, he wept at disappointment of what he was. He went on to become emperor of one of the greatest nations of that age. Every hero you see, every man and woman who has gone off and achieved a pinnacle of their fields, all started out seeing someone above them, showing them the way of what they could be. The greatest of masters who seem beyond human all start out with monkey-like imitations. Then those masters, who started out with only imitation, paved the way for the people that followed after them. It was believed that a 4-minute mile was a physical impossibility for the human body to ever produce, until one man actually did it. 6 months later, another one accomplished the same feat. By year's end, over a dozen people followed suit. Now the 4-minute mile has gone from impossibility to measuring stick for the elite runners. All this thanks to one man rejecting the logic of the time to achieve the impossible. This person you draw upon could be real, or they could be fictional. It doesn't matter so long as they achieve something beyond the scope of what they previously thought. If thinking you want to go Super Saiyan gets you to do a couple more push-ups when you thought you couldn't go on, then by all means. If you want to be somebody whose very presence radiates with people around you and makes them strive to be better, then use the ideal of All Might. If you want to make the world a better place with a death note, then get some help. But in all other examples, strive to be the best person you can be. And if you don't think you can, then don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in all of you.